straightforward.
No, well, it's
It's the colour.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You can get a still shot of it later and we can stick it in there.
Very well done.
It's why we have you here, Beth.
One of the reasons.
Okay.
One of the many reasons.
So, I just don't want to talk about the theory for the sake of the theory. I want to mainly talk about it for the sake of what this means for life and for us, because that's a big part of now what Maturana is about, and also what's the relevance of parts of it for coaching and how some of these distinctions useful to have in your coaching. Now, the first one, autopoiesis, is this notion that all living systems, the central mechanism is that they are self-producing, is the key concept from which things start. And that relates to a cell through to what Maturana calls multicellular organisms like humans and mammals. But what's the big deal? What's the relevance of that? Well, to me, there's two parts to that. One is that all living systems are self-referencing systems. Like the essence of our functioning is to maintain our ability to continue to live. And so that, and if our thoughts and emotions occur in our biology, then they're all part of that. And so what's the big deal about that? It's always all about you.
Thankfully.
Even people who care deeply, it's all about them. So when we're working with people as a coach, it's all about us, but it's also all about them. So we're trying to take care of ourselves as a coach, but also they're taking care of them, and we take care of ourselves by wanting to take care of them. So that's a key thing. But then flowing from this, what Maturana looked at was this led him to look at the nervous system, as a key part of the function. I mean, there's other things as well, but the role of the nervous system in perception was what he was really interested in. And basically saying that our nervous system has a structure. So while we're all humans and we share the same nervous system, we have billions and billions of neurons, nerve cells, and the structure of the nervous system is the particular interconnections that each of us has, which has occurred through our life history and experience. And so each of us has a unique connectiveness in our nervous system. This is the biological basis of why we are different observers. Because the only place we can observe from is the structure of our nervous system.
I've noticed in children how the infinite difference between the experience that they have, one child and another, and how that can profoundly, that's why they're different people. Every aspect of their experience has been different.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? In the one household.
In one household,
yeah. And yet, seemingly there's an event and circumstances happen, but it's
they're born, we brought them up.
Different experience. Now, in ontological coaching, it seems to me that this language, emotions and body, this is what I call our simplified equivalent of the structure of the nervous system. This is me, this is not Maturana, but wanting to draw the link to ontological coaching. And so when we're working with people as an ontological coach, of course we're always working with their nervous system, and this is our model, if you like, for how we work with them. Okay, now, coming off here, you might remember the notion of plasticity. And if you want to read a book on this, it's called The Brain That Changes Itself. This has been like a new discovery in neuroscience, but the concept's been around for years, but now it's been getting prominence.
Is this linked to the idea that plasticity is not something that stops?
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing forever.
Ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learning never stops. So the nervous system is always changing, and the nervous system, of course, includes the brain, the spinal cord, and all the peripheral nerves that are coming off that right through the body. So the nervous system has this ability to continually change. Now, this is, I think, one of Maturana's key contributions. How does the nervous system change? And so, sorry, this is going to be, I'd really love to unfold this in a geometrical, pictorial, beautiful way, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Structural determinism. And that is, the nervous system primarily changes from within itself. Now but the paradox is, it's not unaffected by events and circumstances in the outside world. But that is not a direct effect. The nervous system mediates or modulates, Maturana says, modulates these effects. So there's no direct impact. But the primary determinant of how we respond to any situation is what's already within us. So already listening covers this sort of territory. So this is why a couple of times I've just observed the language of how does that make you feel, right? As though the source is outside the person that's experiencing the feeling. And we've done this in different ways during the course. Every reaction you have says more about your nervous system than it does about events and circumstances in the world. Not that your reaction's good, bad, or anything like that, but it's so easy for us in language, and I think we've learned to point the finger to the source of our discomfort, negative breakdowns, to being in the world. But really, it's all about us. Okay, so he gives a whole biological explanation to that one. Don't need to know that. Now, if we link this back to coaching, and over here, so we're coaching someone, and they've approached us, and they want us to assist them to make some changes in their life, to move forward. All we can do is perturb the structure of their nervous system. We will not directly influence them. So, if I draw a link over here, and to me this is the skill and the artistry of ontological coaching, is to develop ourselves as an acute observer of what is happening and what could be happening in the way of being of this other person. There's a lot of hypotheses we will form that we explore. And we're looking for ways, mainly through questions and sharing distinctions, that will perturb them. And in everyday language, that will bring the possibility of them having some new insight or revelation or understanding about themselves. Once that shift happens, all sorts of new possibilities become available to them. New paths of action become available, which often they already know within them. We don't need to give them a tool or a strategy. We can work with them about developing their own. So this is the key difference, I believe, between ontological coaching and all other approaches to coaching. That we are working very much in this level, which is intangible in many ways. You can't necessarily see, taste, touch, feel, or smell. You might hear some stuff in language, he might observe some aspects of the body, hear voices